Okay, so let's look at some problems here. So notice on these they say like arc sine, arc cosine. That's just something different books. Some write it like this, some write it like this. So just be aware that it's the same thing. Okay? So I just got this off one of the piece of papers that are in your notes. So the reason that we put these u's here instead of ones and x's is because we might have a little baby function. And so it's kind of like using the chain rule. So one thing that I do when I look at this is I'm thinking, okay, this is arc sine, and arc sine right here, it has a u. And I got to figure out, well, the u is the 5x. Okay, so I'm going to say, all right, on this guy, that u is 5x, and u prime is 5. Okay, so I just kind of get that by itself. And then I'm going to go, all right, so d dx is equal to, it wants me to put u prime on the top, which is 5, over the square root of 1 minus u squared. So u was 5x, so that's just going to give me 5 over the square root of 1 minus 25x squared. Ta-da! That's it. Not so bad, huh? Okay, let's say we had y equals the inverse tangent of the square root of 2x plus 1. Okay, so that's our u right there, that 2x plus 1, the square root of that. So I'm going to say that u is 2x plus 1 to the 1/2. U prime is 1/2 2x plus 1 to the negative 1/2 times 2. Okay, so that 2 is going to cancel out with that 2. So I'm going to have then that u prime is just going to be 1 over the square root of 2x plus 1. Okay, so all I did is I moved that down, oops, to the bottom there. Okay, let's go to our formula. And it says the arctan right here that we have to take u prime. And we said that that was 1 over the square root of 2x plus 1 over 1 plus u squared. 1 plus, okay, here's our u. Well, if we square a square root, that's just going to give us 2x plus 1. Okay, so remember that all we're doing is we're multiplying by the reciprocal. So this is times 1 over, that's going to be a 2 right there. So I'm going to have 2x plus 2, which is going to equal, I can factor out the 2 if I want. Let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to go 2x plus 1 square root of 2x plus 1. And that's it. So I kind of like these because we're just following a formula. Now, one thing I want you to keep in mind, sometimes what's going to eventually happen is maybe not something like this so much, but you might see something like this, and you have to be able to recognize that that's the derivative of the arc sine. So just sometimes we do these forwards and backwards later on. Just kind of a little warning there. Okay. Let's say we have to find the derivative of the arc cosine of x squared. Okay, well there's our u prime is x squared. Oops, that should be u. So u prime is going to be 2x. All right, let's see, dy dx. Okay, arc cosine, right there. So negative u prime, negative 2x over the square root of 1 minus u squared. So that's going to equal negative 2x. Oh man, I'm having a hard time getting this under here. Over the square root of 1 minus x to the fourth. Okay, let's just do a couple more so that we've had plenty of experience with these. Okay. That looks off a little bit there, but we'll live. Okay, let's say we have y equals the inverse sine of e to the x. Okay, so we know that u is e to the x. U prime is e to the x. So dy dx, arc sine, we have to go u prime all over 1 minus u squared. Now, remember when you square a power to a power, that you just multiply that. So that becomes 1 minus e to the 2x. Okay, so just watch kind of what happens with that right there. Okay, let's see. Let's look at example 3. And maybe I don't even want to do that yet. Actually, let's stop there. Okay, and then we'll just do some practice problems, and that'll be that.